Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are going to be talking about truth, and a little bit on the other two episodes that are going to be within this trilogy, but mostly we're going to be focusing on truth today, and then once those other two episodes come out, we'll be talking more about them specifically. Now, these three episodes, Truth, Lies, and Gang of Secrets, are in a trilogy. I kind of want to say that this is the trilogy of Marinette's hardships being the Guardian. Basically, right now, everyone is kind of upset with Marinette because everyone has issues with this whole situation. Luca is having difficulty with the fact that Marinette is not telling him the complete truth. More than likely, Kagami is going to be upset because Adrian lies, and so does Marinette. And then, finally, Gang of Secrets is going to be about the five main girls as they're realizing that Marinette just can't seem to tell them anything. And I do want to say that I do think that before too long, someone is going to know. Someone who can actually help her through this situation. But in this episode, that's not the case. Instead, we get to see Truth as he tries to unveil the truth of everyone. Starting off by having Marinette, all of Marinette's friends trying to force them to tell him Marinette's secret. And all that they say is Marinette is in love with Adrian Agreste. Everyone keeps saying that over and over and over again. And the same thing can be said for a lot of everyone knows it, so it's not necessarily a secret. It's insane. But before we actually get into him becoming Truth, I probably should have mentioned this before. This whole episode just deals with all of the chaotic moments of Marinette running off and going to fight supervillains while they're trying to have a date. And honestly, I think that's kind of important because the fact that neither one of these groups, these two relationships yet, have even shared their first kiss. So, yeah, that's a bit insane, but it actually makes a lot of sense. And we'll talk about that more as we get closer and closer to to these episodes. But yeah, no one has yet shared their first kiss, which, keep in mind, the first kiss is one of those really important kisses. So yeah, especially if it's between in a relationship, because there's lots of things that can go on. So, yeah, I just keep thinking that's kind of interesting, to say the least. I don't know. There's lots to it, and I don't really want to get into all of it right now, but yeah. Frel. There's so much, and it's kind of insane. But all of this compiles into just chaos. Luca wondering who his father is at the same time, while also dealing with Marinette being flaky, Marinette dealing with both being the Guardian and with Luca, and all this chaos. It's too much for her to handle right now. And understandably so. It makes sense that it would be too hard for someone to handle right off the bat. But she might just be able to handle it. We'll see, but we'll have to wait for now. We should focus a little bit more on what exactly happens with Luca. Like I said, all of Marinette's friends know that she's in love with Adrian, but they don't know that Marinette is, Ladybug. But there is something that I want to mention. When he asks Julika this, her speech is inaudible. I think it might have something to do with the fact that she's got her head facing down, and it basically makes it so that her words are just not coming out as clearly as they could have. I mean, honestly, you probably could have noticed just there when I was showing you guys that my voice was a little bit weirder than how it is normally. Yes, obviously I was facing more towards the mic, but the fact is that it also is compressing my throat, so it actually prevents a lot of the words from coming through. It's kind of tricky, but there's a lot to it. And I actually think that maybe Julika knows something. I don't know why, but the fact that her speech is inaudible is kind of weird. I don't know. It's possible that the reason was that she actually didn't say anything about Marinette, but instead said something about Rose and how she has feelings for her, which, by the way, a lot of countries that Miraculous goes to actually have homosexuality as being illegal still. So, actually having a character say that in actuality and say, I love, having Julika say, I love Rose would actually be very problematic. Yes, I know that a lot of people are like that, but it's complicated and all that jazz. We're not going to get into that. Oh, boy. I'm worried, to say the least. But then comes the point where he turns to his mother and asks, "Who is my father?" And she just simply says, "Jagged Stone." Everyone knew this for the longest time, that his father was Jagged Stone. Now, I do want to say that I'm not 100% certain if Julika's father is Jagged Stone, but it wouldn't surprise me if he is. It's quite possible that they are twins. The thing is that we really don't know too much about Luca, except for what's been going on. We just don't know about their exact family dynamic. We don't know if they're twins. We don't know if Rose and or Julika and him are actually are just siblings that came out at different times. We don't know if they're different fathers. All this jazz. So yeah, needless to say, I'm intrigued to know what exactly is going to be going on here. But I think that it's kind of important that Luca gets that conversation with his father. And it looks like that is going to be happening. He finds out from Jagged that yes, he didn't even have to use his truth powers on him, because Jagged knows, which is honestly heart-wrenching, but it kind of makes sense. Jagged had a weird life, and he did not feel like that was a responsible way to take care of a son. He had tours to go on. He had so much in his life at the moment that taking care of a son was a dangerous prospect. And having him on the road, he didn't feel like that was the responsible thing to do. But he loved his music and he couldn't let it go. I think that that is an interesting factor. And honestly, I'd like to talk more about it in the future, but we're not going to go into that right now. There's so much left to be discussed about that. But honestly, I want something to be made clear. Jagged is not a bad father. Yes, he did leave them, but I don't think that it was out of malicious intent. It was simply the fact that he needed to keep he felt like it was the best option. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if a certain someone kind of agreed, aka Luca's mother. Because, I mean, yes, she is still into rock and roll, but she keeps them in a pretty safe location that isn't going to be like, oh, we're on the road all the time. You're going to have to move schools all the time. No, she has them in a safe location that they will be able to continue to go to different places that are in a set location, and it's actually a bit more reasonable than having them go with their father on all of these different tours. It would not be an easy life for them, to say the least. So, yeah. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing more of their relationship build over the next few episodes and such. But we'll talk about that more as time gets closer to that. But as for Marinette getting hit by the truth spell. Honestly, that was insane, and I was so ready to see Marinette actually reveal her identity. And thank goodness that she didn't. But yeah, instead we get so many awesome moments where Cat Noir just jumps in and stops her from revealing her truth. And in order to do that, he says random questions that she can answer without necessarily having bad problems. And I mean, honestly, some of these things are actually hilarious. If you guys um, actually read the subtitles again for what she actually says, and apparently his humor she actually likes, which is honestly hilarious. There's so much to do with that, and it's honestly amazing to see that Cat Noir and Ladybug kind of do have. Ladybug has feelings for Cat Noir. It's a weird love triangle thing, and it's awesome, and I want to talk more about it as the time goes on. But it's honestly amazing. And the way that he actually goes about asking her questions that will actually help her to complete her task is honestly really amazing. And the whole foil umbrella thing to make the shield, it was actually really awesome, and I actually loved that scene very much. And the way that they defeat him is so smart. And I'm also a bit confused though what the heck happened to that cataclysm, because he never touched anything. Oh no, never mind. I'm wrong. He did touch the thing. I just got confused there. But there's like this one moment where they step back and he's already activated his cataclysm, but it doesn't have its power. So, yeah. Also, an interesting factor, this is before Marinette has activated her true form, her new hero form that activates when she has her lucky charm activated. So that leads me to wonder what exactly marks her for being able to use that. Is it maybe that she becomes more certain of herself, and that only happens in Gang of Secrets? Something to just keep in mind for future episodes. I honestly have no idea exactly how things are going to play out, but I think that they are actually going to be mentioning the fact that she has this new outfit. At least at some point soon. Don't know exactly when, but it's honestly going to be really awesome to see how things are going to be playing out. And needless to say, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, obviously, she doesn't tell Luca, but Luca does tell her that he'll be ready to listen when she's ready, which is honestly a really heartwarming moment. But it does lead me to wonder what exactly is going to happen in the future. Who is she going to tell that she is Ladybug? And I think it's Alex. A lot of us have actually, in the theory community, have actually been thinking for a while that Alex is going to be the one who knows first. Yes, obviously Alia would make sense. Obviously Adrian, Luca, all these different people make some sense. But the thing is that Bunnix knew. She knows a lot more than she's letting on. And that leads me to think that she knew much sooner than anyone else. She specifically says, "You trust me." As that note may just pop into Marinette's mind after Gang of Secrets, and she's going to say, "Alex, I need to talk to you. You already know some of it, but not all of it. I think it's time that you knew, and I think you would probably be the best person to actually handle the truth." And she reveals that she is Ladybug and the Guardian, and unlocks the box to hand over the Bunny Miraculous for the first time. Now, I don't think that she's actually going to be gaining the Bunny Miraculous full time for a little while, but I think that over the next few episodes, we are going to be seeing her show up a little bit more, and having her become phonics over time and being able to use it more and more as the time goes on, and eventually multiple of these characters who have been using Miraculouses in the past are actually going to be able to use their Miraculouses full time. So people like Alia and Nino, and possibly also the other characters, like I don't think that the new B Miraculous holder is going to be able to hold her Miraculous for a while, but it's still a possibility. That's not happening until Banana Queen, so we don't need to talk about that right now. And we will be doing a plot video for every single other episode really soon, so look forward to those being the next few videos. But I do think that other characters like Kim and Max will also be able to use their Miraculouses full time. And there's honestly just so many other characters that could easily use their Miraculouses a lot more often. And I'm actually really excited to see how exactly that is going to be playing out, as it means that as fewer and fewer Miraculouses are actually kept within the box full time, it means that Marinette is able to spend less time as Guardian and more time being the hero of Paris that she needs to be. And she's going to realize that being the Guardian isn't just holding on to these Miraculouses. It's sharing these powers with the people who are able to use them properly and able to help the world. And honestly, here's another thing. As more and more of these people are actually given their Miraculouses full time, it means that they can actually keep their identities somewhat secret, and they'll be able to continue their work as the superheroes. It's honestly a lot of fun, and I'm honestly really excited to see how things play out moving forward. But we'll just have to wait and see until things actually fan out. But I also want to mention the last scene of the episode, where Marinette is so upset. She doesn't know if she can handle being Marinette, Ladybug, the Guardian, while also dealing with relationships. She can't really be friends with her friends very much. She can't hang out with them. She can't be in a relationship with Luca very much. All of these factors are really damaging to her, and she just needs a hug, and that's what they give her. And she struggles with it. I don't know. But lastly, I want to talk about Lies. As I mentioned before, Lies is going to be about Kagami. And we'll talk about that in the next Miraculous video, which will be coming out probably soon. Not exactly certain on the exact date, because obviously there's 3 videos today. For those of you who aren't aware of that, yeah, we're making 3 videos today. Obviously, first there's this, then there's a Miraculous video, or the My Hero Academia video, and finally there's the the Nerd Chat video. So all of those are coming out, and then tomorrow is going to be another My Hero Academia video. So I'm going to try to also release the Lies video about in that same day, but don't expect it. So yeah, all of that jazz is coming soon. So look forward to seeing how all of this plays out, and we'll be talking more and more about this series moving forward, and see how Miraculous pans out. But like I was saying, Lies is going to more than likely actually be happening simultaneously as Truth. But it's mostly going to be focusing more on Adrian rather than Marinette, and dealing with the whole Kagami situation, as she's dealing with all of that chaos. And honestly, it would be really interesting if the two of them actually do a lot more stuff. I don't know. It's chaos, but I don't know. I don't think that the Lies thing is going to happen actually simultaneously, but I don't know. We'll see how things play out. But honestly, I'm interested. And also, I don't think that anyone is going to actually get akumatized in this episode. I know that's a weird statement to make, but it actually makes a lot more sense than I think it should. I don't know. We'll talk about it in the next video, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell. Of course, leave your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and ring that notification bell because it really helps us out a lot more than you may think. And of course, if you do want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description and check out all of our links down there, including our social medias and ways that you can support us financially, including our Patreon, which a big thank you to our current patron, Sheeny, as well as our merch store and the book. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!